Hello again. My name is Eunice. I am your favorite nurse educator, or maybe infamous, but anyway, I'm your favorite nurse educator. I'm the owner of Florida Training Academy here in Jacksonville, Florida. And in this video, we're going to discuss how you can go from the bedside to being a boss. All right. And you could be a phlebotomist, a CNA, home health aide, nurse. Even though I'm a nurse entrepreneur, I help develop others. So it doesn't matter what your level is. What matters is your passion and your ability to see things through. So yes, even you can go from the bedside to being a boss. All right, so I got a couple of things here that I'm going to be, discussing. Number one is that I need to know your why. Why do you want to go from the bedside to being a boss? Because if you think there is less work involved, once you are actually a business owner, I'm here to tell you there's actually more work involved. You have to be able to find time between work-life balance, and then balancing your home life. On top of that, you won't have steady income. So what I did to make my transition was I made money as a nurse at the bedside. I saved a good portion of that money, and I used that money to invest in my business. So that would help you transition from bedside nursing to being a business owner and a boss. Second recommendation I have for you is to find your passion and own it. All right. So what is your passion? I did a lot of things before I happened upon, training people. I had a retail store, I had real estate. Those things didn't pan out always, but I learned so much from it. Without the retail store, I would have never learned sales and marketing. All right. Without real estate, I never would have learned about financial disaster. But I laugh now, but at the time, it was really serious. But I think as nurses, we just take things with a grain of salt. So if we can bounce back from, patient injuries, we bounce back from having a bad day, having your own business is very similar. You're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days, and hopefully at the end, you have more good than bad. And if not, you need to reevaluate your business and your business strategy. All right, so number one was find your why. Number two, find your passion and own it. Okay? Number three, self-accountability. I write everything down. I want to write it down. God, will give me things to do in my sleep. Sometimes it's annoying, but those who have creative minds and creative energy, they know exactly what it is I'm speaking of. And so I know I'm going to forget it, because that's going to be the morning my son is running slow. So we're not getting to school on time, or I'm going to receive a crazy phone call. So if I have a dream, if I have a vision, I'm going to write it down. Okay. So I write it down. I keep journals next to my bedside. I keep a journal in my car. And I even have a memo app on my phone that is my business to-do list and my personal to-do list. I am accountable to myself, but I am human. I don't want to forget something. So make sure you write it down, whatever your thought is, your ideal is, so that you can start, progressing and writing down your plan to achieve whatever your business goal is. Otherwise, if you don't write anything down, in 5 years, more than likely, you're still going to be right there at the bedside thinking, wow, I should be a business owner. The next thing I want you to be ready for: setbacks, disappointments, and distractions. You set out to do something really good. Let's say, you're a nurse, but you want to also do cosmetology, and you want to specifically go and provide hair care services to those who are, maybe immobile. As soon as you put that thought in the atmosphere, the cat's going to run away. The dog's going to bite the neighbor. I need for you to know that distractions are going to happen. Handle that distraction and get back to whatever you wrote in your notes and your journals. All right, it's going to happen. The husband's going to act crazy. The wife is going to act crazy. Handle it. Go back to your plan. If every time you write something, you get distracted, you have to start over from the beginning again, because you did not implement any steps. And so hopefully this video is just going to encourage you this time to have self-accountability, to write it down. And when you get distracted, go back to it. No excuses. This one's a tough one. Next, I need you to know that everyone who starts with you will not end with you. All right. So you want to go from the bedside to being the boss, and you're expecting for the nurses and the CNAs and the dietary staff to support your business. maybe 2 or 3 will support your business, but the rest of them are going to not support your business. They're probably going to talk about you too, but hey, they talked about Jesus, so you will be okay. Everybody who starts with you will not end with you. Be prepared for that. I'm talking business partners, family members, spouses. But what I have found is that if God meant for somebody to see you through all the way to the end, I don't care what you do. Of course, we're not intentionally mistreating anybody, but you're not going to be able to shake that person off. That person isn't going to glean what they need from you and leave. That person's going to stay with you. So if you find people falling away, remember, every time you get to a new level, that's just going to be one more person that falls away. It's not that they don't love you. They just can't go with you. Okay. So get that in your spirit. Everybody can't go, but you go for it regardless. Next, identify your friends from your associates, from your comrades. Just because we hang out, just because we talk business together, doesn't mean that I need to know about your husband, what goes on in your marital affairs. You need to put people on the appropriate level if you're going to go from bedside to being a boss, because you don't want to create envy. You don't want, if all we want to talk about is business, that's great. Don't make me your friend because I haven't earned that title yet. Okay. I'm all about ownership. And I want to make sure that everybody on my team is actually rowing in the same direction. So if you're my friend, that means that you add value. If you're my comrade, that means that on this one particular item, we see eye to eye. If you're my associate, that's just meet and greet, hey and bye. I'm going to treat you appropriately. I'm not mean to anybody, but I don't let everybody into my inner circle, and I recommend that you do the same when you're trying to go from working at the bedside to being a business owner or a boss. Next, develop your team and get out of the way. We don't do micromanaging. Just like on the floor. Your charge nurse doesn't, you don't want your charge nurse like lingering over you all the time, telling you what to do. It's like, ma'am, you've taught me, okay? You've showed me the policy and procedures. Let me go do what I do. I am a professional. That's the same way your team members should be. So if you do have a weaker team member, definitely support them, give them the encouragement they need, allow them to make mistakes safely. Don't let them send out an invoice or something that goes to the wrong person. So it's going to be a lot of hand holding. And if the person can't do the job, of course, demote appropriately. If they're doing a fantastic job, elevate appropriately. But when you develop your team, do not micromanage, because you're going to spend so time working on that person and trying to get them up to speed. And then after you've trained them, you spend 3 weeks training them, you still don't go and do something else to benefit the business because you're still so focused on micromanaging people. There are going to be times when you're working in your business, working on your business, and there are times where you're going to be working both in and on your business simultaneously. And that last one is when you're going to be exhausted. All right. So if you have help that is trainable and coachable, train them up, get out the way, and go and do something else, and keep repeating the process until you have multiple pillars or multiple streams of income. Next, you all are hilarious. You will call me, you will email me, you will say, hey, I want to do exactly what you do. And my response is usually, what do I do? So when you go to the website, you see all these courses that I teach. I need you to repeat after me. Don't eat the whole cow at once. Don't eat the whole cow at once. And the reason I say that is because it looks really good to be able to offer 50 different classes. But I learned how to do that over a series of 14 years. And so you're coming in now looking at everything I do. And yes, it's really, I love the fact that I'm your role model. However, you're going to wear yourself out. So no, don't start off trying to teach CNA, CPR, phlebotomy. Oh, let me try to train instructors. You know what? Let's go ahead and do OSHA and other types of trainings. Focus on one thing, get good at it, build a team to support that one, and then you go start the next one. So again, you can take bites. You don't have to, it's not like, oh, I have to compete with you 100% and do everything you do, because that goes back to you finding your passion and you owning it. This is my passion. Yours may be something different. God may have graced you for something else. I make this look easy because I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to need you to take baby steps, or you're going to be exhausted and you're going to be broke. All right, so we want to make sure that you're utilizing your money to the best of its abilities, and that you're not trying to implement 5 programs at once unless you have enough staff and support to actually, implement it correctly. Next, and I said this in another video, I need you to be more financially disciplined. You don't need red bottoms. You need land. You need an office. All right. Sometimes you don't need a business if you're still renting. And I know right now it's really hard to get, a residential or a home. Is hard right now. So I want you to think about that. Really think about it. Where can you save money in order to pay for your business? Because initially, this is going to be something you're going to have to fund, until it can start funding itself. So if you have a really, a luxurious lifestyle right now, probably not the best time for you to open a business, because I'm going to need you to get disciplined. When people walk into my small office, sometimes their nose are too up in the air. And one person even told me, she says, my business is twice the size of yours. And very nicely, I stopped her. And I said, oh, so you own your business? You actually own the building? And she said, no. I said, oh, so your leased unit is twice the size of mine. That's a different mindset. My mindset is on ownership. The way that I own commercial properties is that I buckled down and I did not get red bottoms. I got real estate. All right. And last but not least, I need you to know your worth. So when you're calling me, you're like, hey, I just want to spend time with you. I just want to be under your tutelage. I will usually give you about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm not going to share all of my trade secrets with you. I'm going to let you talk. I'm going to try to build a relationship with you. And then if you decide that you like me and you want me to mentor you, I'm going to let you know that my fees are anywhere from $75 to $100 per hour. Usually, I don't get any further response from people. That is crazy. I know my worth. If you invest $75 to $100 in me providing consultation to you, I can usually either save you or make you thousands of dollars. So no, you're not going to just sit next to me and get all this information off of me and then go out and repeat the process. And I'm like, wow, she called me. I was so helpful. No, ma'am, I pay for education. So just like my students pay for me to train them, when I want to be educated, I pay for it. I have a mentor. I respect her time. I pay for her. Okay. So I believe in reciprocity. And that's something that I want you to get in your spirit too. You need to know your worth. I'm not going to say charge tax and all this other stuff, but know your worth and don't let anyone just pull and deplete you without putting back in. And everything isn't about money. We can barter services. All right. So if you're a fitness expert, I'm a CPR trainer. So let's barter services. You spend an hour with me, I'll let you come in and do a CPR course. We were able to share knowledge. We both got what we needed. And there wasn't an exchange in necessarily wealth. So make sure that you know your worth, that you are not just providing free services. When I started my business, I did not, and I'm still not the cheapest on the market. There are many people whose prices are less than mine. The reason why I set my prices at a certain standard is because I wanted a certain type of student. So my students are not going to be the ones who necessarily call and ask for a discount. My students are the ones who are willing to pay full price and who refer other people who also pay full price. That's my market. All right. So I hope that this video has helped you just change the way that you think. And it's going to help you transition from going from the bedside to being a business owner or a boss. My name is Eunice Mathis. Please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. I usually offer or provide I usually upload videos once a week, and the videos are educational, they're inspirational, they're usually talking about money, one of my favorite topics. But I do hope that you like this video. Leave your comments, and you have a great day. All right, bye.